Hello everyone, I'm bringing to you an exciting course on object-oriented programming. So first of all, let's see why this course, when there are so many courses, why we want to have a course on object-oriented programming. AI, is everywhere. Artificial intelligence is everywhere these days, and thanks to some bots like ChatGPT, we have seen the growth of AI tremendously. It is growing like anything. And whatever the field it is, AI has penetrated almost everywhere. So, to understand AI, that is artificial intelligence, we first have to understand what object oriented is, because that is the base of any AI. Okay, so first of all, let's have the objectives we are going to cover. Introduction first, then we have understanding of the classes, objects, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, data hiding. Then we have association, aggregation, and composition, object oriented analysis design, OOAD, exception handling, which is a very interesting thing and important also. Object oriented programming language features, we will have some features also, what features they have. So we have this, and then finally we have advanced oops concepts, that is object oriented programming concepts. Okay, so first we have to understand what is programming, and what is a programming language. Programming is very simple. We do it every day. Suppose we have to go to market, we plan what to do. We tell our brain what exactly the brain has to tell the body to do. So we follow certain steps. Similarly, if I want my computer to do certain task for me, like storing data or analyzing data, I have to write a code for it, a program for it, in the language which computer understand. Okay, it won't understand my basic instructions like do this, do that. Although we have audio bots like Siri and all, they will help you to get the programs done, but they cannot do the coding part. They cannot actually do the application parts. So they can call the application, but they cannot develop the application as such for now. But in future, AI is going to be there, and you may soon get an application where your voice commands will tell AI to write the code for you. Okay, so future is very bright, and then we have virtual reality also coming very soon into picture. Although it is not something new, but yes, it is not explored much as of now, and not much in the picture also these days. But soon it is going to be the highlight. Okay, so what programmer does is he puts a set of instructions for a computer to understand and do a particular task. Okay, so that is what I was telling you. Like if I have to store data, if I have to analyze the data, I have to tell my computer, okay, fine, guy, you have to do this. And for that, I would be writing a code in a language which my computer understands. Okay, so broadly, we can classify your languages into few categories. Like we have machine learning language, assembly language, high level language, system languages, scripting languages, domain specific DSL languages, visual languages, and esoteric languages, right? So there's these languages, they have their own requirements and benefits. So let me go through them one by one. A brief introduction of these languages. Like machine language, it actually consists of a low level instruction directly executable by a computer. That means you give a direct uh, instruction to the hardware to perform a task. So it uses binary codes. So binary writing code in binary is little difficult. So zeros and one, it is not very easy to write. But there was a time when we did not have many options, but to write the code like that, and we used to do it. So there was not much option there, but now we have. And then came your assembly language, which was more close to English instructions, but definitely again it was hardware based, so the coding was not very easy, but still people could actually understand and do that. So it is a low level programming language. Assembly language is a low level programming language. It uses mnemonics to represent machine instructions. Okay, so mnemonics are there for the machine instructions. So it is basically a symbolic representation of machine code, and it allows programmers to write code that is more readable and easier to understand than machine language. The assembly language is specified to a particular computer architecture. So if I have to write a code for a bigger system with a different operating system, I have to write it differently because they work directly on the registers on the hardware. So instructions may be different. Then comes your high level language. High level languages actually they were designed for more human readable and easier to write and understand. So readability and how we understand and write the code to make the things easy, high level languages came. They actually use natural languages syntax like English or the other languages are also there, and built-in instructions are there, libraries are there. Simplify programming task. It simplifies actually a programming task easier to understand and write. These high-level languages include C, C++, COBOL. Then we have Fortran, Java, Python, Ruby, all these languages. Some of them have been added recently, but the the main purpose of these languages was to make the syntax easier, and they have some built-in features like libraries, abstractions, so that a user can easily work and develop the application. Focus on more on the application part rather than on the coding part. Okay, then we have the system languages also. These languages, actually the task of this language, the purpose of these languages is to write drivers. So we have the device drivers. Why I said was actually because more or less all the drivers are available these days. But now if you want to write your own driver for a new device, or if you want to add on device, you can write the drivers. So you can use C++. We have Rust also to do the task. Then we have the scripting language. This language, basically, they are interpreted languages designed for automating tasks or extending the functionality or existing software. So whatever the software you have, so of that existing software, they can actually automate and extend the functionality. So they are often used for quick prototyping, web development, automation, like we have JavaScript, Python, Perl, and Ruby. Then we have domain specific language. They are DSL languages, domain specific languages. They are designed for specific problem domain or application areas. They provide specialized syntax and functionality, which is tailored to solve problems in a particular field. Like we have SQL, structured query language, which can actually fire the queries and extract the data from the database. We have MATLAB also. We have and LaTeX for typesetting documents. So MATLAB also can be an application builder or a simulator and a language also. Then we have the visual languages. These languages are used for visual diagram drawing, visual diagrams, flowcharts, graphical user interfaces, and they provide logic structures. These languages are often used for visual programming, rapid application development, or creating user interfaces. Like we have Scratch, LabVIEW, and Blockly. Scratch is a language which is used by many organizations for training their staff. Basic when they start, basically when they are freshers, so they use Scratch. Many companies use that. Then we have finally esoteric languages. These languages are designed as experiments or for artistic purpose rather than particular use. They say they don't have any particular use as such. So unconventional syntax, they have semantics or are deliberately difficult to understand. Like we have brainfuck, white space, and intercall. So these languages, basically, these are the categories which represent different approaches and purpose in programming. And each category has its own strength and application, usage, and how we want to use them in our own application depends on doing. So they are basically uh, since AI came, so we the classification of languages has now object-oriented programming language also, which is actually a high-level language only. In that category, it falls in the same category of a high-level level language. We have C++, Python, Java, C Sharp. We have R, Python, and more recently we have Go also, right? The procedural languages have, and the other languages, the syntactically, or you can see say that the semantics may be different and syntax may be different in these languages, but the approach is to get the application done. Okay, so then procedural language like C, if you perform a task we require, like for day to day task we want to maintain some accounts, we can use C. And we used to have COBOL also, which was a common business oriented language mostly used by the banks at one time. Fortran was the formula translator and was used for calculation, scientific application. But COBOL found a lot of market. But thanks to 2020, 2000K problem, this language almost vanished. But new languages have come up, and this is something actually evolution which actually happens every now and then. And our industry, this in computer industry, grows very fast, and we keep on adding the languages, so the things have to grow. So application program like inventory management, library management, hotel booking, ticketing, they could easily be implemented using procedural languages like if else, logical procedures. If this thing happens, then what we have to do, and if this is not there, then what we have to do, something like that. So from the day first computer was made, the idea was to make computer think and work like a human. And human intelligence led to artificial intelligence because it has to be created artificially. So procedural languages, they gave way to object oriented programming languages, and they basically, as I said earlier also, they belong to the high level language only. So why object oriented programming required? Why we need object oriented programming in AI, or why we needed to think to make a computer think like a human? Why we have to see and understand, that is the most interesting part of this course. So the desire, as I said earlier also, more to get more functionality from programming languages, they intensify every day alongside the advancement of procedural languages. This actually leads to a greater demand for languages, and the more priorities, when the priorities change, you keep changing the things, you keep adding the things, you keep moving, you keep developing. So priority and what I require today is the priority basically. And as I said earlier also, everything should be AI based. That is the aim of the earlier generation, and now also it is like AI and virtual reality. We're moving towards that very fast, and we have to have it soon also. So it is a step towards the desire, as I said earlier, of the human being to make computer think like us, like human intelligence. But as I always say, it is very difficult to replace human intelligence with AI. It's not that easy, but yes, it can be done. So object-oriented works are it on the basically the concepts are classes and objects and nature as we see all around. It is classified. So everything is classified in this world, and this is what leads to concept of object-oriented programming. As we see around, the trees are classified, animals are classified. We have the plant kingdom, we have the animal kingdom, and just by looking at a tiger, I can make out, okay, this belong to a cat family. Looking at the cat, I can say, okay, this particular thing belong to a cat family, and the features we know. Okay, so there are two things on which normally the code depends. That is the program depends. That is the code. That is the syntax and the data. But in object oriented, it is built around its data. So data is referred here as an object, which is also called as an attribute and a set of well-defined interfaces or the programs to do a particular job. They're called methods. Okay. So an object-oriented program can be categorized as data controlling access to code. So in simple language, object-oriented objects control access to the program. So the objects uh, control the access to the program, and we may also safely say that the objects oriented language is built around the concept of interpreting the data in a more meaningful way. We'll be looking at these things with more examples which are natural to us, and nature is all around us. So we'll be looking at it. So what we can say that object oriented programs simulates real world software, and that is the aim of OOP, that is object oriented programming. So simulate. Now coming to real life examples, we have cat family. It can be a domestic cat or a wild cat, but the features will always be same. Like we have a tiger, lion, jaguar, leopard, panther, and then the house cat. So panther is not your snake actually. What we are talking about is wild leopard, jaguar, panthers, lion, tiger. Okay, so we are talking about that, and by looking at it, by looking at this diagram, I can easily understand, okay, this particular thing has same features. That's why they are clubbed together. Like tiger, lion, jaguar, they have all similar features, and they leap and they pounce. But unlike the dog family, they don't just they sit around. They have to prey. They have to catch the prey. Okay. So understand the concept. We have to understand the concept of object-oriented programming. First, we have to understand how the nature has classified us. So, as I said in the earlier example, so if we consider a cat family, we have cat, lion, tiger, and all. The cat, it may be domestic or wild, but they all have similar looks. And even if they are different size and colors, the looks would be same and the features are same. The long cylinder but powerful built bodies, they have large strong heads, they have smaller legs so that they can run fast. That is what I said. Like unlike dog, they have smaller legs so that they can run faster and pounce on their prey. So reasons to be classified in a cat family because they have the same feature. So, but just by looking at one of the member of the cat family, I can actually see that the cat in front of you is not going to eat the grass. It is going to eat you if you're there, provided it is just not a domestic. Okay? Now, classification actually it helps to identify the things. As you can see that easily, I can identify an object easily. Like if I have a furniture and if I have a chair, I can easily say this belongs to furniture class. So walking in a garden, we can easily distinguish between trees, plants, shrubs, herbs. So we know that this is the plant kingdom, and they may look different, but may have similarities. Trees, we know, plants, they have certain categories which are similar, but we know that a plant would be having a thick wood and plants would be having soft body. So trees grow, they go big, they large, but the plants would remain small and grounded on the ground. Now, the reason to classify them under same kingdom basically is because of the properties and easily to identify them, and that is why we have the same classes. Okay, so different classes but same properties would be the objects having the same properties would be in the same class. Okay, so we know that everything is classified, and why there is need for to classify we have understood that also. And to make it simpler, we can say that objects and also have been helps they help in identifying what one can expect from them, what we are expecting from them. Just by looking at an object I can identify, like I'm walking in woods and suppose a tiger comes in front of me, I would easily know that the tiger is not going to eat grass, it may eat me, provided the tiger is hungry or man eater. Okay, it depends. Fine. So in the next lecture, these are the basic concepts of object-oriented programming. In the next lecture, we are going to cover the classes and objects in detail and look into more things interestingly. Till then, have a nice day. Okay, this is all we have in this video now. The next video will be on the concepts and principles of object-oriented programming, and a lot more to be covered, and we have to understand the concepts clearly before we dig into the coding part. So we'll be seeing the coding also very soon and how they are implemented. I would be taking Java and Python in combination. Focus will be on Python and Java, definitely will be there. Okay, so have a nice day and enjoy the videos, enjoy the session, enjoy the course. It will definitely help you in enhancing your career. All the best.